You know, people often tell me, "Oh, you must love having visitors. It must be nice when folks come over and keep you company." But I'll tell you the truth. I don't. I'm 77 years old, and I don't like having visitors at home anymore. That might surprise some people. Some might even call me unfriendly, or say I've gotten set in my ways. But it's not that at all. It's about peace. It's about comfort. It's about energy. And about learning what really matters at this stage of life. If you're around my age or you have a loved one who is, maybe you'll nod your head a few times during this talk. Because these feelings, they're more common than people realize. Now, before I go any further, let me say this clearly. It's not that I don't like people. I love my family. I love my friends. I love conversation, laughter, stories. But I also love peace. And these days, peace feels rare. You see, when we get older, the world around us doesn't slow down. It gets louder, faster, busier. Phones ringing, TVs talking, everyone running from one thing to the next. And when I'm home, I just want the opposite of that. I want stillness. I want quiet mornings, soft afternoons, peaceful evenings. Because peace is something you feel deep inside, like a warm blanket on a cool day. And when people visit, that blanket gets tugged away just a little, not because they mean harm, but because energy changes. Even a good visit takes something out of you. You smile, you listen, you keep up with the conversation, you pour the tea, you offer something to eat. And all of that, believe it or not, takes energy. And at 77, I don't have as much of that energy to spare. So when I say I don't like having visitors, I don't mean I don't love people. I just mean I love my peace a little more. When I wake up in the morning, I have my rhythm. I get up slowly, make my coffee or tea, maybe stretch a little, check the weather, feed the birds, sit by the window for a while. My day flows gently, no rush. And that's the beauty of it. I can take my time. I can rest when I want. I can eat when I'm ready. That rhythm is precious. When someone visits, that rhythm breaks, even when it's a loved one. They might talk a lot, walk around, rearrange the cushions, comment on this or that, and suddenly my quiet space feels busy again. It's not bad, but it's not peaceful either. At this age, I've realized that peace is not boring. Peace is healing. Peace is the best medicine I have. You know, people often mix up two words, being alone and being lonely. They're not the same. Being alone is a choice. Loneliness is a feeling. And truth be told, I enjoy my own company. I've lived long enough to know who I am, and I like who I am. I don't need constant chatter or noise to feel alive. Sometimes I'll sit by the window and watch the sky change color. Sometimes I'll listen to old songs, ones that remind me of days when I danced without aching knees. Sometimes I just sit quietly and think about the people I love. And in that quiet I feel full, not empty, full. There's something deeply comforting about being in your own space, at your own pace, surrounded by your own memories. That's not loneliness. That's contentment. Here's what people don't always realize. Every person brings their own energy with them. When someone steps into your home, they bring their day with them, their stress, their noise, their habits. Even if they're kind, that energy can fill the room. And as seniors, we pick up on that. We feel it. When I was younger, I could handle it better. I could shake it off. Now, if someone's anxious or hurried, I feel it in my body. My shoulders tighten. My breathing changes. My mind gets tired. So when I say I don't like having visitors, it's not about the person. It's about protecting my energy. My peace is fragile now. It's something I've learned to guard gently. And that's okay. Because after a lifetime of caring for everyone else, now it's time to care for me. Let me tell you about something that happened not too long ago. My niece, sweet girl, called and said, "Uncle, I'm coming by this afternoon." I said, "Sure, come on over." She arrived a little later, cheerful but clearly tired. You could see it in her face. She had been working all morning, running errands, taking calls, and by the time she got here, she was half present. We talked for a while, but she kept glancing at her phone, checking messages, looking at the time. I poured her some tea, offered her cookies. She smiled politely, but barely touched anything. About 30 minutes later, she said, "I should get going." I walked her to the door, gave her a hug and said, "Drive safe." When the door closed, I sat down in my chair and let out a long breath. It wasn't that she did anything wrong. She meant well, but the visit, it drained me. And that's when it really hit me. I prefer calm company to quick company. If we can't really connect, I'd rather stay in my quiet. Because I've learned that peace fills me up more than small talk ever will. I used to feel guilty about saying no. When someone called and said, "Can I drop by?" I'd always say yes, even if I was tired. But now I've learned the power of not today. It's not rude. It's self-care. If I'm tired, I rest. If I want quiet, I keep it. If I want to talk, I'll call when I'm ready. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors that you control. And that control, it gives peace of mind. You know, peace even affects how we eat. When I'm relaxed, I eat better. When I'm anxious or tired, I skip meals or eat too fast. And at this age, every meal matters. Simple food is best. Warm soups, soft vegetables, fruits, eggs, oatmeal, fish, a little chicken. Seniors need protein, fiber, and hydration. But really, it's about enjoying what nourishes you. When I eat quietly with gratitude, my food feels like medicine. So peace isn't just emotional, it's physical. It's the foundation for good digestion, clear thinking, and better sleep. At 77, I've stopped chasing what doesn't serve me. I don't need noise or crowds or endless visitors. I need sunlight on my face, a warm drink in my hands, and people who understand that silence can be sacred. I've learned that aging gracefully isn't about fighting time. It's about flowing with it. When I was younger, I thought growing old meant losing things, strength, friends, speed. But really, growing old means gaining peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing who you are, what you like, and what you no longer need. Now, I don't cut people off completely. I still talk to my friends, on the phone or sometimes on video calls. I wave to neighbors from the porch. I chat with the grocery clerk who remembers my name. Connection doesn't have to mean company. Sometimes, a small smile or a kind word is enough to remind you that you belong to this world. And that, my friends, is what I call peaceful connection. So if you're like me, if you don't always want visitors, please know, you're not strange. You're not cold-hearted. You're not antisocial. You're simply tuned in to what makes you feel calm and comfortable. And that's wisdom. At this stage in life, wisdom tells us to choose peace over pressure and quiet over chaos. You've earned that right. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. It means so much to share these thoughts with people who truly understand. If anything I said today felt familiar, if you nodded a few times, then please give this video a like so other seniors can find it and feel comforted too. And if you haven't already, subscribe and join this warm little community. We talk about real life, peace, nutrition, aging, and living with grace. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What makes your home feel peaceful to you? Is it a favorite chair? A quiet hobby? A certain smell or sound? Share it in the comments. I'd love to read about it. And as always, I wish you peace, comfort, good health, and gentle days ahead. Take care of yourself, my friend. You've earned your quiet.